Hi you guys, welcome back. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy Erickson, and in this video, I'm going to take you guys along with me to Effigy Mounds National Monument, which is an ancient sacred burial ground. So stay tuned. This is yet another Erickson road trip video, and just like in Halloween Spooktaculars in the past, we are going to visit a site that is allegedly haunted, and we're going to really feel it out for ourselves and see what we think in the end. Just like we did in 2019 when we visited the Villisca House, that was also in Iowa. And just like last year's Halloween Spooktacular, when we visited the Swinging Bridge, which is also in Iowa. So this year, we decided to visit the Effigy Mounds, not only because this is the perfect time of year with all of the changing fall colors, but also because it is a little spooky that it is believed by some to be haunted. So we have, of course, like all of our road trips, we have Neil driving, and we have Celeste behind him, we have Chase over here, and we're ready to go out and do some hiking in the National Monument. But the reason that we decided to go right now during Halloween Spooktacular is because I actually saw a little bit, just a tiny blurb on the internet that was implying that it is possibly haunted due to the mounds being Native American burial grounds. So some of the residents around there, the people from around there, claim to hear voices or screams, things like that in the wind. So who knows if that's true or not. But it does look like a fabulous park to do some hiking in, so we're gonna go check it out. Iowa is really such a very unique and diverse place. We live in the capital city, Des Moines, but there's so much different landscapes that you can see as you travel throughout our state. So we started with the plain old flat land with the wind farms and the corn, and the terrain just kind of slowly changed as we traveled. And we started to see the rock cutouts on the side of the highway, and then we began to see the big scenic bluffs as we got closer and closer to our destination. I love taking these quick trips with my family. It's a really good time for us. We get to see new places, explore our state, and we're also interested in finding out what we can learn about all of these different places that we can visit. And Effigy Mounds was no exception when it comes to learning about the history of this region of our country. So when we arrived at Effigy Mounds National Monument, there was a welcome center along with a little museum on the inside. And so we were able to learn a little bit about this sacred land before actually taking off on our hike. The Effigy Mounds were built between the years 700 and 1200 CE by the Native Americans during the late Woodland period. And these mounds were built on this land that is in Wisconsin as well as Iowa. And the earlier mounds were more of just the conical or geometric mounds, such as these rounded tops mounds. And then the later period had these effigy mounds, which are the mounds in the shape of bears and birds and other animals. In the particular area of this sacred land that we visited, it was commonly seen that the effigies were built in the shape of bears or birds. And the ones that we ended up visiting during our trip were the Great Bear Mound and the Little Bear Mound, as well as many of the earlier mounds in the cone and the geometrical shapes. Depending on the period that these mounds were built, there are different items within the mound. So they had different things that they would bury these individuals with. And so sometimes they would be buried with artifacts, with weapons of their time, or pottery that was made by them. And then sometimes it was simply a burial with nothing but the dirt piled up on top. So there are different items within each of the different mounds. When we arrived at the Effigy Mounds Welcome Center, we actually got out of the Jeep and we heard all of these voices. But it wasn't people screaming or anything like that. We heard laughter and voices. And as you look around, you cannot see exactly where these voices are coming from. So right away, I was reminded of that little piece on the internet that I saw, which led us here today, which said that there were some people in the area who could hear voices in the wind. Well, that happened to us right away, and I immediately knew it's just because so many people were there enjoying themselves and having a great time. As we left the Welcome Center and crossed the little bridge, there were the very first 3 mounds of our hike. And so that was really cool how you start to see these mounds, these sacred burial mounds, like right away as soon as you begin. And of course, then we had to start ascending this giant bluff. And so up the giant hill we went. It was so nice hiking with my family, getting out into the fresh air, getting some exercise, connecting with nature and with spirit in a sacred ground. And of course, we stopped for many sights and many pictures. Did you get your picture? There was one point when Neil, Celeste, and Chase were all up ahead of me a little bit in the trail, and I kept feeling like someone was following me or like I was being watched. And then I started to hear someone walking in the leaves right behind me. And I kept looking back, and every time I looked back, it would stop. And so that freaked me out a little bit. I didn't have my camera at the time, but I pulled it out right after just to document what had happened. I thought I heard something walking in the forest behind me, and I made everybody stop and listen.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel.
Squirrel.
Okay, so I'm trying too hard to find ghosts. So yeah, by the time I called them back, they ended up seeing the squirrel. But I did find it interesting that the squirrels in this area are more of a silver gray color, and the squirrels in Des Moines are more of the reddish brown color. So I had never actually seen a gray squirrel before, so that was pretty interesting as well. Honestly, at the Effigy Mounds National Monument, at least while we were there, it is so high vibration and full of light. These grounds are sacred and they are blessed. These grounds are not haunted with evil spirits or demons at all, in my opinion. We even stopped for a moment to ask if spirit wanted to communicate with us using a spirit box and some divining rods. And we came to the same conclusion after using those tools that this land is very high vibration and full of light. Use this to talk to us. There's something about the present.
It's a radio station.
Well, yeah, but it stops whenever the spirit is coming through. That's what it's supposed to do. Stop scrolling.
Let's just say it did start making a lot more noise when I told it to use this.
It did.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't doing that before.
Do the spirits of the dead visit these hills? Do the spirits of the dead Native Americans visit these hills? My hands are thumping right now. Like, it says yes. Thank you. And I'm gonna ask more questions to go back to normal. Okay. Are all of the spirits here, are they of the light and of good intentions? That's what I thought. I thought it felt good here.
Yeah, I felt good.
Thank you. Honestly, I can understand why some people might believe that a place like this is haunted. It is an ancient burial ground after all. But the people today do still continue some of their rituals up in these bluffs. And these grounds were definitely a high vibration area in my opinion. I didn't feel any heavy energy. I didn't feel anything demonic or anything like that. I really just felt like it was a very peaceful and very serene and spiritual place to visit, but for the good of your soul, not for the bad, if you know what I mean. The intention of any spirit that is attached to this land is of the good intentions. It's a national monument because this ground really is sacred and it really is special and it needs to be protected. So with all the vast wilderness and the woods out there and the burial grounds, I can see how some people believe that this place might be haunted. But I think that really the haunting is really inside of our own minds. So some people, when they think of how vast this area really is and how deep these woods can really go, then it can maybe be a little scary. It's kind of like when you don't really know your mind, you're maybe a little bit afraid to explore it. So it's kind of like you attract what you are in all of these situations of possible hauntings or sacred places like the Effigy Mounds National Monument. While we were on our way to the Effigy Mounds National Monument, we also went through a town called Strawberry Point, Iowa, and we ended up finding Franklin Hotel, which is an alleged haunted location. So we decided to stop there on our way home and check out the Franklin Hotel just a little bit. Unfortunately, we did not stay the night there because we didn't really know where it was or what it was until after we had purchased our hotel. In Wednesday's Halloween Spooktacular episode, we will be taking you to Strawberry Point to visit the haunted Franklin Hotel. So be sure to check that out later this week on Wednesday. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button and share this video with all of your friends out there. And of course, if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe down below And once you've subscribed, you can then click that notifications bell so that you can be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And that is a free way that you can support this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.